Hey cadets, this is Mr. Storm, and in this video we are going to learn how to create a business card for ourselves as a graphic designer, and we're going to use Google Drawings to do so. Google Drawings is a very basic design tool, but we're still going to be able to respect flow and focus and composition and layout even in Google Drawings, so it's going to be great. So we are going to create a business card that is 3.5 inches long by 2 inches tall, and it's going to have your information on it as a graphic designer. Now, this is not a business card for the job you currently have. This is a business card for you as a graphic designer. And so it needs to have, it needs to respect all the design elements that we've learned this week, right? So space, balance, contrast, repetition, proximity, all that stuff you need to pay attention to when you're designing your business card. So let's go ahead and I'm going to open up Google Drawings. So it's just drawings.google.com. All right, and it will open up a blank drawing here. First thing we want to do is give it a name. So I'm going to call this business card. All right. Now we want to figure out how to organize this, how to format it so that it's the right size. So let's see, maybe format. Well, I'm getting no options there. Let's go to File. Page Setup. Let's try that. That's a standard. Okay. Let's do Custom. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So I want 3.5 by 2 inches. So I'm going to hit Apply there. And it's going to give me, wow, that's way bigger than 3.5 by 2 inches. Here's the deal. Because we're designing this, it's going to look as big as we want it to look. But if we were to print this out, it would be 2.5 by 3 or 3.5 by 2, which is what we're looking for. Okay, so I have a blank canvas here. Let's think about some of the things that I might want to put on here. Well, first of all, I want some information about myself, right? So I'm going to want to draw a text box. I'm going to grab the text box tool and I'm going to start typing my name, David Storm. Now this just looks pretty boring, and this little checkered background here means that my that the background is going to be transparent. So let's actually put something in here. Let's put a solid something in here. Now we can put in a solid color. We can pick a really good color like a nice dark blue. Oh, that's going to be for that box, which is not what I want. Let's do insert. Oh, you know what? For this, we're probably going to have to just create a shape, which is fine. All right, so I'm just going to create a shape that is the same size as our business card. And then I will turn off the stroke on the outside, and I will set the inside to be this blue color. This is a really nice blue color. Now notice that that shape that I just created, it's now on top of my text. So here's how you can organize and arrange your elements. So I'm going to go over here to Arrange and click Order and say Send to Back, which means it's going to push it all the way to the very back. Okay, now I want to select my text and I want something a little bit more interesting here. I don't like the font and it needs to be a bit bigger, and maybe I want it to be in all caps. So let's play around with this a bit. So for font, I love Lobster. Lobster is a great font. That's good. Or let's see, what else is out here? Oswald is really great. Just pick a font that just stands out to you as good. Now, because this is Google Drawings, there's not going to be a lot of, you're not going to have a lot of options, but that's okay. Just choose what you have in front of you. Comforta. Okay. Sure, that looks good. Maybe Spectral. That's very professional looking. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with Lobster. I think my original instinct was correct. I'm going to go with lobster, and I'm going to make it a lot bigger too, because my name is the most important part of my design, right? So I'm going to make it as big as possible. Ooh, that's way too big. Let's keep it going down. Let's keep it going down. That's too big still. 36 maybe. Let's extend it across. Okay. And then the color. The color isn't great, right? The background is a dark blue, and you know the name being black just doesn't look great. So I'm going to go into text color. I'm going to set it to white right off the bat, and that looks a lot better. Let's see. Maybe what I want to do is add, no, not a highlight. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's a fun trick. I want to add a little drop shadow to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy and paste, and I'm going to position this new one just kind of where a shadow would be. I'm going to change the text color. Ooh, actually, you know what? Having like the, oh, I moved my background. That actually looks pretty good. I like that. Oh. Now, I think I might actually want to swap these. So let me arrange this. Let me order. Push it backward. Okay. That's great. That looks pretty good. So I've created an effective drop shadow right there. So what's some other information I want on my card? Well, I probably am going to want some information saying that I am a graphic designer. So let me put it over here. Well, so let's think about this a bit, right? We have to think about the organization of our information here, right? I want my name is going to be the biggest thing on the screen, right? I want to make sure it's clear. You can read it. You know what you're looking at. Sorry. The other information is less important, so it's going to be smaller, and maybe not in a place of prominence on the screen. But some things are more important than others, right? For example, my name's the most important. The next important thing is going to be the job title, graphic designer, right? And so if I put it right there, it's going to look a bit squished. So I'm actually going to put it directly underneath, and I am going to make it a bit smaller. Yeah, 12-point font looks good to me. And I will choose a different font so that it stands out even further from the name. And I'm going to choose, okay, Nunita. That looks good. Now again, these, and I want it to just kind of like nuzzle right up against the name over there, right? And I'm going to make this white as well, so it looks good against the blue background. Okay, so now we have all of our elements just kind of bunched up here. I'm going to want to put some information about myself down here. So to fill in this area, so we're going to make sure it is, let's say 11-point font. Let's make it Nunita or Nunito. And then I can start typing, you know, phone number 555-5567. Let's make that a little bit further out. Oh. And, you know, let's do actually website above, or email address above that. david@design.com. Make the text box a little bit bigger there. You know, you can put in address and all kinds of stuff. 123 Fake Street, Loser Town, Utah, 80354. I don't even know if that's really a zip code. Okay, So all that, we want to change all that to white. Now, so that's all a bunch of information. Now I have all this white space here that I can fill in with whatever. I can put in, example of what I've designed, or I can bring in something to just add some texture here. So let me find a textured image. Let's insert an image and let's search the web. Let's look for blue white textures. Clouds are good. Clouds are good. Maybe something like that. Maybe something like this. I'm just looking for something that kind of matches the colors I've picked and looks good with my design. Now, here's the thing. Please remember, you do not have to design your card like I've designed my card. This is just me playing around with some design ideas. Normally, what I would do is I would follow my design process. I would sit down and really sketch out some ideas and really come up with something that I would have a plan for how I was going to develop the card. For this, I'm just kind of throwing it together last minute, just to show you guys kind of what this would look like. I'm going to grab this one. This looks good. I'm going to insert this into my design. It's going to pop in there. It's kind of like a popcorn ceiling. I want to rotate this a bit. And then make it a bit, not that way. Let's go this way, so that it covers from there to there. And then, so that's going to take up some of the white space here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop an icon, like let's say the icon for my graphic design company. Now, I'm noticing that there's a little bit of white space here that I could fill in. So maybe I can make my graphic designer font just a bit bigger. Let's do 14, which fills in a little bit of that white space, and then maybe move my elements over just a bit. And this might be able to move over just a bit as well. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Okay, great. Let's drop a logo on here. So let's insert an image, and I'm just going to search for black logo. So normally this would be a logo for the company that you work for. For us, I'm just going to pick a logo. Here, we'll go with this one. We'll insert that. And then, here's a problem. So there is a background on this image, and I do not want the background on this image. So there's really not much I can do to get rid of the background. At least in Google Drawings. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to format my search a little bit more explicitly. So let's search no background. Okay. I'm going to use, let's see, this heart. That looks good. Let's use that heart logo. So this will be the logo for my company. Shrink that down, put that over here, make sure that fits, in the right area. Looks good. So now what I want to do is, it's really hard to see underneath there, so it's hard to position my logo where I want. So I can actually turn down the opacity on this. If I go to, I think it's adjustments. There we go. And I increase the transparency, I can see what the card looks like underneath. Okay, so that's good placement for the logo. And then I'll come back here and drop my transparency all the way back down. So now when I'm done, I'm done with my card. So what I can do is I want to export my card. So I'm going to go over here and go to download as a JPEG. So the designer business card, the graphic designer, so you want to upload it as a JPEG. So I'm going to download this as a JPEG, and it will download it and open it up and show me what it looks like. So that's a pretty good, for coming into this with no plan, and only taking about 12 minutes to make it. that's pretty good. Now, obviously, if I was doing this for an assignment, I would want to really pay attention to what I was doing and have a plan going into it and all that stuff. But hopefully you can see that with Google Drawings, you can actually make something that looks pretty good. So I want you to create a version of a business card. It does not have to look like this. As a matter of fact, I would prefer if you pick a different design style and play around with some of the things. Here's the deal. Look online for examples of business cards that look great so that you can become inspired and kind of not copy someone else's design, but become inspired by someone else. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Perfect. All right. Have fun with this project. Hopefully you have a good time with it and come up with something that looks great. All right. That's it for me. Peace.